Very nice art.
What an oddly specific Instagram post. I blame Darty.
Yeah, that seems reasonable. But I have to run away now. Have fun.
Good night.
Don't wear pants. That goes for all.
What did he mean by that?
No, it's true. Trump's confirmed it earlier. The only addition was that the Grand gets the 1K extra. No, the Grand itself still gains a permanent 1K.
It's noted underneath the unit's information when you hold down the info section. You'll see it under the foes 1K attack.
I'm gonna go to bed. Good night, guys.
I sleep.
Good night, Steve.
Good night. Have fun streaming.
では、前に出ます。
Hi guys, just give me a minute. Sorry, just so that we're clear here, chat. Part of what's going on, I'm asking for some more clarifications on certain mechanics because apparently my initial tweet this morning had some errors in it, and I'm trying to make sure that I'm getting all of this right for you guys because I really don't want to tell you wrong, but I need the actual nitty gritty details, and I unfortunately did not get those details earlier today. That's on me. I should have like realized that I didn't have it, but I'm a little unprepared at the moment. So as a result, I'm kind of sitting here talking with people, trying to make sure that I have everything right. Yeah, in the meantime, we do have a new artwork, as you guys have seen, by Saz Soba, aka Saz Laughmaker. He's been posting the whips. I've been retweeting him for a while, but he has not posted the full image yet. But this is the delivered piece. No, I'm asking very difficult questions. That's the problem. You guys know it's why you come watch me. I straight up have questions that I need the answers to, that it determines how I kind of advise you guys based off of this. All right, I'm just gonna go. I'm sorry, chat. I don't want to keep stalling you guys out here. I'm sorry about this. Here is today's artwork in its full glory. It's a good piece. I really like it. That's the best thing I could say about it. Artist didn't quite get what I was going for. There's definitely a language barrier there, and I used Skeb for this one. It's one of the unfortunate things about Skeb is I can't talk with an artist throughout the creative process. I fucking hate it. I know artists love it because they don't ever get any sort of like flat back or anything from a commissioner, but unfortunately this piece did not come out the way I wanted it to. It's good still. I still like it, but it didn't come out the way I wanted it to. And if it hadn't been on Skeb, I could have definitely advised the artist and caught this like back in the drawing stage, you know. But it's still good. I'm just gonna treat it as like basically another summer piece because it looks fantastic. I'm sorry, Chad. I'm kind of frustrated. Is a little bit the issue here. People are trying to help me out, but I'm not getting the answers that I need. So it is what it is. Okay. Anyways. Sorry, my brain is going in 20 different places. Hello, chat. Here is today's artwork. Let me grab it for you guys. Is Avalon speaking in riddles? No, I think we're just talking past each other a little bit. It happens. I just like... This is what I wanted to prevent is like, oh, I'm live and I'm scrambling for answers. I don't like that. I like being, you know, prepped and stuff ahead of time. I'm not going to do things the way I did things today ever again, probably. So anyways, chat, we got a lot of stuff on both NA and JP. I'm going to basically just start out with NA here, try to get some AP spending, because we got a lot of stuff to do on JP. I do have 2 storm pods, actually. That's perfect. That should be plenty. That'll last me the whole stream if needed here. Had to go see my sub message. Your bad dragon at my place. Come pick it up, please. Thank you. Thank you for the 59 months up. No Earthly Clue, thank you for the 23. Matrax, thank you for the follow. I'm sorry for missing all this stuff, guys, but forgive me. It's just, it has been a hectic day. The reason I put this on myself is I was just relaxing playing like Conan before stream. I shouldn't have done that. I should have taken this more seriously and just like dove right in. And I didn't do that, and that for that reason, I'm putting this one on myself. Hey, General, thank you for the 69. Appreciate it, my dude. Am I going to try to get the entire grand grind done? Yeah, pretty much. From everything I've heard, people are saying it's really good. There's some stuff like that I haven't looked at yet. Because I wanted to give chat, like, hey, this is what it's like, so that you guys could all see it in action. So I haven't touched the grand system at all. And that's partially my mistake because I've relied on other people to give me the info. And unfortunately, like the tweet that I put out, there's apparently been two issues with it. Like the stuff that I said in the tweet was just wrong. So it is what it is. Did I see the bond change? Yeah, I saw the bond change. It's funny because I've had people messaging me all day saying like, "Oh, you called it," and yeah, that I did. I don't think the devs on JP watch me. Okay, so like it's a cool idea to think, but Like, that'd be amazing if that were the case. I really do wish, if I ever have a developer or just anybody from the Lasingle or Aniplex teams watching me, that they would reach out to me even just privately. But as far as I can say, that's never happened. But honestly, like, it's not that difficult to predict these things for me, because I've told you guys this before, and it's the way I've always operated. I'm usually a very empathetic person. I have a very easy time being able to put myself in someone else's shoes. And there's still stuff that, like, I would struggle with in that capacity, but one of the things I feel like I've always been good at is trying to think like a developer does. And it's why I'm able to predict some of this stuff, because I think about, like, where the potential systems issues lie and what they need to do from a design standpoint to fix them, what the logical solution would be, and what they would be willing to do that would kind of satisfy both their need and please the player. So that's why it's like, I've had people say, it's like, oh, well, they didn't do it exactly like your bond flow idea. I'm like, they did, actually. So the idea behind it, chat, is you have bond 15, and straight up, if you're at bond 15, the character now just overflows their bond to all the other characters in the party. It's that simple. And that is how I proposed it originally. I had talked about, like, having multiple bond 15s and being able to hyper accelerate something, but that is exactly how the system works. So there's no real difference in it. They just, instead of making it bond point for bond point, they made it percentile based, but it still works out the exact same. So it's like, it doesn't matter. It was a logical choice, it was. But that's why it's like, I don't want people to feel like I'm somebody that's, like, able to, like, predict the future all the time or anything like that. I'm not. I've had several things like this go right over the years where I've predicted a major change in the game. And chat, I'm going to predict another one for you right here. They're going to change stuff with part 3. There will straight up be probably some sort of, like, big change coming to the game with part 3. What that change is, though, I could not tell you. And how that will be, I think that sort of thing's up in the air. But don't expect things to stay completely the same with a part 3 coming in the future. And at the same time, don't expect things to drastically change either. I think both those statements can be true, where it's like there can be a major change to the game without it changing the overall gameplay loop or the gameplay style. So I don't think that's what they're going to do. I think the people that, you know, want this game to turn into something that it's not are never going to get their wish. And so at that point, I can just kind of predict, like, yeah, the devs will try to do something to keep things fresh, to mix things up, but don't expect them to change fundamentally what FGO is. Have a quick test, thank you. Okay. Come on, unlockers now. I haven't looked at the unlockers. Do we get any tier 3s? I do know we got more, but I have not seen the actual unlockers proper. Tier 1 and tier 2? I don't care about that. Like, for better or worse, those are so common. Okay, there is a new tier 3. I was gonna say, it's like, if there's no tier 3, it's like, I don't give a shit. Zara, thank you for the 70. Chat, can we get some love for the big 7-0 from my man Zar? If you beat the last fight, you get a tier 3 from missions. Okay. Alrighty. You do not have enough storm pods to do stuff. So, chat, we got a ton of crap. An absolute ton of crap. Admittedly, like, there have been several days that I have woken up and there has been like a major change to the game. And I can go back in my brain and I can just easily point this out. And I can say that, like, one of those was when we got class score. Another one was when we got the append system. Okay. So, like, those two were each major changes. Grand system is up there. Okay. And people are going to be like, no, Cat, it's so simple. No, it's not. There's nothing simple about this, chat. Like, the only thing simple about it is that it's piggybacking off of an already existing concept, being the, like, class score system. But everything else about it is completely nuanced and unique to it. So, red background for days. Yeah, people have been saying this. I've been, making jokes about it at this point because Avalon and Leah were in VIP today, and they just kept repeatedly getting triggered by the fact that it's just so red in the background. I think it looks great. I have no issue with it whatsoever. But I'm one of those guys that, like, Chad, I was here for the year of Ordeal Call, or sorry, not Ordeal Call, Epic of Remnant. So, like, I'm used to a red background. It doesn't bother me. It was just a thing for an entire year in the game. So I'm just like, oh, this looks cool. It's that simple. And honestly, the game needed something like this. It really does, chat. Like, you might not like it, that's fine. But the game needs to mix things up. Because the game gets stale as fuck sometimes. So it's good that they actually do, right? Like, even if we don't agree with the change, it's still a good thing for them to change stuff. By the way, chat, I know people have said, like, oh my god, it's so awesome that you can spin the Ordeal Call globe. Did you guys know that you can actually spin this too? You can spin the Lost Belt map. Old news, I know. But a lot of people just don't know this. Like, that's why when people were, like, shocked that you could spin the globe, I'm like, why are you shocked by that? Of course you can. It's always been a thing. I never spun it myself, yeah. It's just like, it's such a, like, minor but like whatever type thing that it just doesn't come up very often, right? I'm playing since day one, I never did it. Yeah, it's fine. It's not like, oh no, now because you didn't know that, you were somehow screwed. So, so the only thing you guys didn't get to see is when you first log in, it actually plays some animations. Actually, I believe Ash and Spartan sent me stuff. I don't know if this shows it or not. Oh no, okay, this is just the initial login. Oh, there it is. Okay. So as you come in the first time, it does this. It also plays a movie, basically, the first time, showing the, like, Musashi thing coming in. How's night going? It could be going better, but... I missed seeing Musashi. Yeah, look, the game needs its nostalgia bait, right? So as we go in here, here you go. So it's basically saying you have a grand duel battle to complete. So we have to complete this, then we pick a grand, then we get the grand class score. Okay? So that's the idea behind it as far as I understand this image. This is just them showing you the schedule. They did confirm Berserker is next month. So I know this is going to shock y'all, but yet another prediction became true. So this is May, this is June. That's going to probably make that July, that probably August, September, October, and November. But CAD, why doesn't it go to December? Because they also announced the finales coming in winter. And chat, you need to understand, winter means that's going to come in December, and it's probably going to be like straight up like expect it December 31st, okay? It may come like a week before that, but just assume the latest possible date in 2015. Don't assume like, oh, they said winter. Well, like the beginning of winter canonically happens at this day at this time. No, chat. It's assume the last possible day, okay? And if it comes earlier, then there you go. Did I say 2015 instead of 2025? Damn, wild. They did say right now, so there is a battle that you can farm afterwards that will give you these items. These are your new Stardust, chat. So this is Saber Stardust, basically, is what this item is. It's the same thing that you use functionally in the normal class score system, except it's specific to the grand for that class. So you can't over farm this one to prep for the next one or anything like that. However, this will normally have a storm pod cost. Currently, while this campaign is going on, it has none. So for people that come in after the fact, they're going to have to use storm pods to do it. For those of us that are here right now at the release, there is no limitation. You can just keep going. Your only limiter is going to be the AP. It's until reset for free, no? What do you mean? And you guys can see here, I believe what this button is, that's the class score. I believe this is telling me to do the... Oh, no. Okay, here's the enter the duel. So it's 5 AP. I'm going to get a bottom grill as a reward. 5 of these doohickeys. These are the class score... Sorry, not class score. The grand class resets. So it's assumed that with each one of these battles, we're going to get 5 more. Okay? We know there's 7 classes, so you're going to get like up to 35 of these things. Here's the thing, chat. You'll be able to change your grand. That's fine. You're not going to care to change your grand very often. And the reason why is because they've stated that the grand status while it is a permanent thing for your character, it doesn't like actually come into play other than, you know, occasional battles. So obviously it's going to come into play for the finale, but besides that, it literally is only going to come into play in these like actual grand farming duels here for right now. In the future, it might come into play with some other stuff that they do. I won't be surprised to see them throw stuff out there every now and then that kind of, I'm not going to say requires it, but like incentivizes it. And the reason being, as I mentioned before, chat, again, here, let me make another prediction for you. If the grand system only applied to the finale of the game here, sorry, not the game, of part 2, why the fuck would you bother after that, right? Like, it would be kind of a waste. So it would be a whole lot of work on the devs' part for like a one-off thing. It'd be cool, but it just wouldn't matter. So you know they're going to keep doing it. They're going to want to in order to incentivize players to get into the system. So don't expect it to work for the vast majority of stuff, but do expect it to keep coming back over time. So it's just going to be yet another way to enhance your characters, yet another way to kind of like, especially your favorites, right? Make them even stronger and better. But having the swap, yeah, it does mean that you're going to be able to change it if you feel like, hey, it's not going to work for this battle. I have another person who also qualifies for grand status. I can get them in instead. Because unfortunately, as we predicted, this is naturally going to be an issue. Because like, what do you do when someone grands like Gilderay Saber and then all of a sudden Gilderay Saber just gets pancaked and they can't manage to get him through the content because the content's just too hard for someone like that? There's not going to be anything they can do. Okay, so that's where they had to provide you with the ability to reset and change it. As I mentioned before, I absolutely assumed that they would do this. This was yet another prediction that we made because it made no sense to hard lock someone in. Like, for instance, what do you do if like you just straight up accidentally like fat fingered it and picked the wrong one on the selection? Okay. So I'm not going to say that's going to be a common thing or anything like that, but you know, remorse or regret on the choice is definitely something that FGO has at certain points. Like you could look at stuff like with the Grails and you could say the same thing, but the Grail one has been solved at least by virtue of there's so many Grails coming into the game now that if you put, you know, like 2 to 5 Grails on the wrong person, you're just not going to care in the grand scheme of things. So it makes sense that for something like this, something this important, something this like finite and limiting, that they'd have to allow you to change. Yep, that's true too. You never know. There may be another unit that that kind of shows up, right? So again, the Bond Grill, the 5 shifters here, and then that's it. Okay. So let's go ahead. Let's march right through. Is this like server reset that happened? It shouldn't have. Yeah, it is. It's because I hadn't touched it until like an hour or so ago. Talking about a nice glow up. Yeah, Musashi has new animations. You guys are going to get to see it here. So chat, you can only use Saber class enemies for this. I haven't actually seen anyone fight these. I know it's like it's a Musashi there, but the farming node is no break bars, right? But does the initial one have it? Can you pre-farm Grandmats? No. It has 1. Okay. Yeah, you have to do the battle to unlock it. Leo's got an NP5 Benny. Not the best CE, but hey. Actually, it may be really good. I don't know what this drops. Santiflo, thank you for the follow. The Betty. Just a ton of damage savers in here. You're not restricted to just grands, but you can take other people's grand. Mitchin doesn't have his third skill lord. Go with that. Okay, has been my go-to farming unit. Is your okay to Grail? I'm gonna let it drop in because it's just gonna load in all sabers anyways. Well, hold on here because unfortunately, like, yeah, I do have an Okita, but she's only in P1 on my JP. I don't have the actual like strongest setup here in terms of single targets is the issue. P5 120, nice. Is 150% damage on man? Yeah, let me double check here. Musashi. God, I hate these stupid pop-ups on fandom now. She's chaotic good. Benny's got the chaotic alignment. She's man. Yeah, let me see. Aki's got an NP, or sorry, Ati has an NP1 of her. She's probably the strongest one for this, just due to her ability to stun. Okay. We'll go with Leah's NP5. Does she have invul in chat? Yes, yes, no, yes. All right, why did the one person answer no? Chance to invul? It only blocks non-sabers? Oh, okay, so I don't give a shit then. Wait. Yeah, there's no class selection here, so you can't take anything other than sabers. I was just curious because I was like, hold on, can you actually even? Sorry, I'm looking for Bride's Bonsi. There it is. Did I rank up Lan Lang skills? I believe I did. Yeah. I'm not missing anything on him. Do you think they'll drop Marie Quest 4 soonish? No. Expect that at anniversary. I think you'd have theoretically both, but it would default to Grand Assassin, right? The question would be if you change him, does it actually apply to his Berserker form? Like, do his assassin buffs apply? That's gonna be a really weird one. I'll be curious to see how they handle it. Okay, so I basically don't even have party cost space at this point. I want to level it. I shouldn't. Not yet, anyways. Okay, let's go in. That a support will be cooked. Some of these will probably be pretty difficult depending on the class. I do think, like, depending on what they do, they could make these really asshole-ish or really easy. Alright, I gotta kill the music. Okay. Immediately ready to NP. Oh boy. Oh shit, I forgot. Oh, it's good in P seal. Or is it not? I like the music, it's really good. Alright, she's stunned. Go with the quick chain. I think she resisted it. Yeah, that's why I was like, oh wait, it didn't. Never mind. Because it was on her third skill, wasn't it? Damn nice. Maybe I should have gone with Benny Enma first. Oh, she just NPs anyways. That is such a nice shot on many levels. So, chat, they've got to do an animation update for her. Like, it's not out yet, but they've got to do it. Like, there's gonna have to be a actual, like, Musashi, like, banner and animation update. We'll let Benny Enma shine here. I'll just do another arts card there from Medusa. It's also an AoE NP. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. But if they don't do that animation update, people are going to lose their mind. She actually dropped her swords. Interesting. Still goes through and deleted my team. Oof. Yeah, I'm not sure how I guarded that there. But it'd be what it be. Just the evade? Okay. Keep watching her death scene for secrets? Wait, what do you mean? Yep. Man, chat, it's like they're telling me who to grand. They just, here you go. It's that simple. I'll trust the devs on this one. They seem to have a good idea. They seem to know. Okay, so what this screen is basically showing you guys is the benefits that you get. If you choose a unit as a grand, they literally just get HP and attack plus 1,000. Right there. Boom. That simple. Okay. Yeah, I wonder who CAD will grant, right? There's a new class score system. It's going to require that unlocker that I talked about. Sorry, not unlocker, dust. And this is just showing you, yes, if you wish to, you can undo it and reset it. I assume if you change who your grand is, your class score still stays the same. But like any enhancements that you're doing specific to your grand somehow, like that's not going to get refunded. Okay. Now we can see the card art here for all of them. Honestly, they're really cool looking. I think the only one that I think just looks weird is Berserker. I get it, but like they're all reminiscent of the original card art to a degree. I do find it really funny that Grand Rider looks more like a Lancer. And that Grand Lancer looks more like he's wielding a banner like Joan of Arc, right? So like those two were the ones that made me kind of chuckle with their design. Man, chat, I don't know, who should I pick? It's my JP. On my NA, you'd see a little bit more here, but my JP is like, well, you've got one option. I like that. I took a picture when it's too late. No. Okay. So now basically, and you guys can see, right, chat? Chat, ask me if I'm like omniscient, if I can predict the future, or if it's just so fucking obvious if you know what to look for. What do you see when you see this screen, chat? I want to see if somebody else in chat can get this. Because, like, the first thing I notice. Space for more? Yeah. Yeah. It's probably going to be extra 1, extra 2, but yeah. Yeah, chat. It's not hard to predict, right? Like, you can see when they leave room in the interface and they've already teased it, this is like one of the easiest prediction of anyone's lives. Okay. So I could take Artorias. Artorias is basically 15% attack up for the party. It's not a bad one. And there's something to be said about this, because you have a choice, chat. You can either slot in your bond CE, or you can just choose to take 50% charge. So, when should you choose the left and when should you choose the right? Choose the left if you feel like the effect is actually beneficial. Choose the right if the effect of the bond C is just trash and you don't care about it. It's that simple, okay? So, like, I can choose the right and I can Black Grail. Or I can choose the left and I can maybe do something like, I don't know. I mean, I could still use Black Grail technically. But I could maybe start with a starting charge C or something like that. The question is how much, damage change are we talking here? I think the key to understand this, though, too, chat, is because right now we can only use this aspect of the Grands in the actual Grand battles. This is one of the things that is locked to them. So, unfortunately, you can't use 3 different Cs outside of Grand battles. In Grand battles, you can. Outside of them, you can't. Right now, the only Grand battle we have is Saber only. So I'm not Koyan Skya looping with this. It's just not going to be a thing, right? So that's naturally going to end up being an issue. You got to help me Black Grail just in time? Yeah. Hard to beat 50% charge, though, for most bond Cs. You're not wrong. I think where this is going to have value, right, is when you say, oh, it's not just Saber, it's everybody else in the party. And then you'd have to ask yourself, do you value 50% more charge? Or do you value more high offense octane stuff? Excuse me, for not just my Grand, but the other units present. And that's where I'm saying, like, it's really just going to come down to, like, what you're trying to do. For me personally, I think for right now it is going to be that effect. I assume I'm gonna select the right one there, and that's gonna give me the charge effect. Okay. Yeah, you can see the little icon down here. How many more units can Black Grail with an extra 50% charge? I mean, assuming you had no restriction on classes, which right now you do. No restriction on classes would mean that 30%ers could. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think I'm looping. That's why I've been like kind of saying this. So chat, we do have other craft essences that can be used, but it's basically your Da Vinci shop craft essences and your Valentine's Day craft essences. That's really it. I believe you get a CE when all is said and done for your Grand Servant, and I believe you can throw that in this slot. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. That C gives 1,000, but the problem with that is that, like, well, I have Detective Fulms here that's 2k. So there's that. Like, it's like, yeah, I understand, but there's that. Also, this looks hilarious because it looks like Detective Fulms is now wearing a crown. Okay. And now you guys can see, here is my class score. I do not have any of the dust. If I wish to unlock any of these nodes, I have to get the dust. And it's, I believe, let's see, it's 40 for that. I believe the outer ring is 80, and then it gets more expensive. Yeah, 140. So it goes like 40, 80, 140. And that's how each of these branches should work. 4.5k attack from CEs. Yeah, I mean, I didn't even check, right? Like, oh. Hold on, chat. Let me just complete a few things here. I didn't completely have the Saber class score system done. I just had 90% of it plus done. Oh, is that the one I just did? Whoops. What I get for trying to press it with my sausage fingers. Yeah, and that should be everything. Oh, no, there's one more over here. Everything except this. I don't have the unlocker, so I can't get it anyways. But yeah, that's basically everything for the Saber class score done. From what I've been told, and this was, again, one of the things I was hotly debating here before the beginning of stream. Oh yeah, so by the way you will access this normally, chat, is you come into the class score for the class. Up here, this is your button to access the grand class score. This button is class score reset. You can completely reset and refund everything that you injected into it for class score. However, you only get one. One per class score. So be careful, chat. They'll probably give us another one in the future. Honestly, bold prediction. Bold prediction, chat. You want another prediction for the future? Here, allow me. You guys ever notice you can zoom out? I've pointed this one out before. You guys thought they were done? No, they're just gonna expand the system. And if you think about it, it makes a whole lot of sense. It's actually really smart of them to do. So, yeah, they will expand this. What they'll probably do, though, is they'll probably make expansions to the system require new materials, part 3 materials, so that you can't just, you know, oh, let me play the game every day and never miss a single Stardust like me, and like kind of already be like sitting pretty to do whatever the heck I want, right? What's that MMO with the ridiculously high amount of branching tree skills? I usually liken this to the sphere grid from Final Fantasy X, or the like skill system in Path of Exile. If you guys have ever played that, like it's got a huge tree, right? Yeah. Did I see the 10th Annie theme? What do you mean? Did I see the like logo that they're using that we already knew about? 2 years enough for how many full unlock classes? I've only got like 3 or 4 done, I think. The biggest issue, more than anything, you guys can see, I still have Stardust. The biggest issue is I literally lack the unlockers. So that's the problem. A skill Yggdrasil? Yeah, one way of looking at it. Okay, so in we go. Like I said, I can't do anything here. Actually, I need to get access back to... What's that button gonna do? Okay, this just brings me back to this. Oh, chat. Calm, cool, casual, 20k attack. Now, you gotta understand, guys. You're probably like, 20k, my other unit is like even higher. Sure. I'm sure your unit is. Saber hit 20k, and Saber is an HP heavy character. So like, okay, that's a thing, right? Like, I did not expect that. In what quests can these be used? Right now, just the grand system quests. I think I have to go all the way out to access that, the grand system quest, though. That's kind of dumb, but I get it. They should have probably a button that brings you straight to this from there, but yeah. So you guys can see, you know, again, technically you have to complete prior ones, I think, in order to do subsequent ones. You can also see it looks like the number of clears, or is that the number of damage? I don't know. Then it looks like there is a final one. This is the one that rewards the CE, but chat, when does this unlock? Is that I'm unsure of. Is this like once I've completed the class score, or once I've done like any of these once? $12 nodes. Isn't that all of them? Oh no, I guess there's 4 per 4 sections, so there's 16, right? Total. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead. Let's try one. See how bad it is. Oh, can I specifically only use grands for this? Okay, no. I was gonna say, it's like, hold on. You can see it definitely changes the... Oh, That's really interesting. So, again, when people have said before, it's like, oh, they don't have the space to do this stuff. I'm like, y'all can see they just literally squish everything in here. That is not a bad Okie, though. That is quite the stellar Okita. So you can take multiple grands in. And you can even take, like, duplicate of the same. Okay, we'll run with him. I was doing like Lakshmi, which she's a pretty decent one for survivability if it gets into a knockdown drag out. You're not Lakshmi. Where's my Lakshmi? I don't know what the ordering to this is at the moment. Yeah, I should be fine. Sorry, I had to sit there and think, like, did I have the charge to NP with both? Because again, I assume this is all just one break bar. So at that point, I probably want to fill party. Just for bonding purposes. Literally just Musashi for all of them? Yeah, that's fine. Oh! I mean, it makes sense, right? Like, I'm sitting here thinking like, oh, I know, I'll just slot in Detective Holmes on the back line on this one, but it's like, no, I'm already using it as part of my grand, so I can't. Damn, you can't have duplicate. feels Batman. Perfect. I'm actually gonna leave. Well, I shouldn't leave this. Well, but this first one's probably easy. Fuck it. We ball. Level it up right now? Yeah, I probably do need to level up my Detective Holmes to 2K. So you guys can see it pulses down there. Okay, I was gonna say, please tell me they did the upgrade. That would deeply, deeply upset me if they didn't. Whatever, man. Put it on yourself. Put it on yourself. Who cares? You know what? I just want to see the damage. Just let me see the damage. I don't need to see the NP5 Okita damage. I need this, chat. Okay. Well, that was easy. The 100 stars harder and above. Yeah. There we go. Easy level up. 2.5 million QP. Statues. See, like... This is nice, right? But, like, I'm not gonna complain that I'm getting this so much that, like, this is an odd reward for someone that has their account already at this stage. And it's like, hold on. What am I doing? Yeah, let me go see if I have the, oh, there we go. So you do get 5-star foes that give 100 each, but I have been informed, and this was another thing that I was like wrong on, right? I have been informed that this still contributes towards your 2k cap. Whereas at first it was, I don't know, described to me as in addition to it. Yeah, so I can't faux her. It's just a shortcut, yeah. And in that regard, it's not bad. Like, I think it takes far too long to gold faux and faux pas print people in this game. I'm okay with the general pace of gold fauxing, I'd say. It's a little bit on the slow side, but I still think it's okay. The issue I have with faux pas, though, is that faux pas are ridiculously long. They do not need to be that long. It is just ridiculous how much it takes to enhance even one card in this game to max, and the sheer amount of time. It's like it should not take you like 2.5 years to get it done. So to me, that was one of the big things they needed to rectify. I don't care that they've been putting faux pas in the shop. That doesn't matter because that's still like currency you have to spend. They needed to be giving them out a lot faster and a lot more. Because again, I think it's a veterancy thing, right? Like, are you worried that players will have too many 2k faux and faux pas printed units running around? Is that a problem for the game? I don't think it is. I think it's the reverse. It's that like players basically feel like it takes so long that they don't use the system. So to me, I think they are slowly coming around to that. I think that's more than anything. I think this update represents a like developer. It's not that it's a developer shift maybe, but it's more like a recognition of, hey, we don't need to be as stringent on these things anymore because nobody cares. It's just good to go ahead and give them out because it pleases the populace. Is the raised QP cap? I mean, I haven't even mentioned all the other things. I'll get to that. Don't worry about it. What was I doing? I was going in here to level up my detective films. As chat rightfully pointed out, it is not at 100. Which is surprising because I could have sworn that I had already done it on JP. Do I have CE bombs though? Survey says, oof. Oof. Do I have some scrolled away, maybe? Doubt it. I doubt I do on JP. Oh, interesting. I didn't realize that's where the Grand Graph was. That's a weird location. I'm looking for second archive. Yeah, it doesn't look like I have any scrolled away because they'd be in there if I did. Well, that sucks. This is what I get for not rolling out my FP more often. So, oh, whoops, hold on. Go back. Find detective films. I'm sorry, brain, where is it? Huh? Okay, there it is. I was like, it's like right in the middle of the screen. I guess it just didn't go far enough. I can at least throw that one in. That one will at least get me halfway, so it'll get me the 1,000. Well, a little bit more, but better than nothing. Is it lotto time pre-ante? I wouldn't guarantee that. All right, so this is 100 plus. Go with Alba here. I don't think any of this is going to matter either. Like, it's not going to become an issue until it starts getting, like, above 1 million. Yep. I'm going to start going faster on this chat just for time. It's not gonna matter. Send it. Her damage went up, but I'm not sure if that's due to damage variance or it's just scaling better. Oh man, Betty is gonna hit Bond 10 on the back line of this. Getting tons of master experience. You should have a star bomb on Bride. I really should. But yeah, chat with them. Each one of them is plus 100. So you only need 10. You only need 10 of these things. However, this is the only way to get them at the moment. So, it is what it is. Huh? No, it's the foes. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Just go in again. For 5 times the price, because 5 times the effect. Maybe. I wouldn't think it'd be MP shop. Just because. Damn. They all avoided Seba. Let's try. So 548, so it's not scaling up anymore. What was that crit? Holy shit. Okay. I'm gonna have to pop apples to get through this. As you guys can see, we're already out of AP. In the meantime, what have I gained? Oh my god, they're giving out teapots. Why are you doing this game? Oh no. Oh, I'm not gonna redeem that now because that'll be inventory hell. I will redeem that. There's your new 5-star saber faux pas. They're only going to work on sabers. I assume that's 30 FP. I think it's time to prioritize bond grails in the RP shop over lores. That depends. That depends on how much you can use it. Like, I'm not ready to make that statement. I'm basically just going to keep abusing this setup chat because literally it's leveling my Mystic Code as well. And this is really good Mystic Code leveling. If that doesn't kill, I'll just let the NP kill. Yeah, the foes are generic, faux pas are not. Alright, let's see the card. 76k non-crit? Not bad. So many chests. Yep, he's already down to 38k. He's gonna be done easily here probably by the end. By the time we do like the triple star. What's weird is you're getting so many chests, but like the drops themselves don't actually seem like they're that much. Not for like 40 AP. I mean, you are getting a lot of like QP, but it doesn't actually seem like it's dropping that many materials. Okay, so this is 100 star. For all the missions, you need to do 50 total runs here. Okay. That I can do. So, chat, wait, because someone was claiming it's like at reset. So, when does this actually become like it costs? Did you expect the devs to give you so many changes alongside the grand system release? No. I mean, I wouldn't have been surprised by quality of life, but I did not expect this many. A week. Okay, so we still got plenty of time. Looks like if anyone's gonna end up carding here, it's gonna be Okita. We'll give her that. Actually, I could have gone with the Mighty Chain with the arts up. Alright. Will Okita actually do it? He does not. Ooh, spicy. The crit. The crit did more than the NP did. Alright, looks like now I have to start getting a little serious with the composition. What do we got here? Oh, she missed it. Like, she got the crit, but she didn't do enough. That attack down kind of spicy. Bye, bride. But you've activated my trap card.
いいですね。そこタッチ。
Okay.
少年分が。
Bond overflow before Annie makes my ear. Yeah.
さて、お団子でも食べて帰りませんか？
All the 40 cost nodes first. Oh yeah, I mean it's card type up, right? Chat, y'all don't have to recommend what to go to first. I can figure that out. All right. So next up is the double star. Like I said, we'll get a little bit more serious with this. So let's start looking. There we go. We have an NP5 that should help. Gonna go ahead and switch to that. Cad just missed the animation. I'm sorry, I didn't see. What are you guys talking about? She tried to reach for him? Weird. She has different defeat animations, okay. We'll try. Should be a little bit better, but I still don't think it's going to have the offense to kill. Because a little bit one of the issues with relying on Okita here is Okita gets a lot of boost from pre-carding.
覚悟。はい。鋭く。前例を見せる。正面から受けて立つ。
So like doing a combined NP here is not the most ideal. But I will do it. Yeah, same deal. I'm gonna still go for the quick card. If Lanling is in the front lines when she dies, watch her. Is it specific to like Lanling? Just pretty boys? Interesting. Yeah, see, that did enough. All right, triple star it is. Let's see. This one's like 3 mil if I remember correctly. There's an NP1 again. There's a Benny Enma NP5. No charge though, so oh, that's not what I wanted. That. Okay, so she does have her mana loading. I can probably get that if I rotate through. But I probably need to do that in inverse order. Saw Trung sisters enjoy her. Yeah, somebody on my YouTube commented that they were doing Trung sisters. Wait. Wait, how did they start out at 30%? How did the Benny Inma start out at 30? Oh, the grand passive. Okay, thank you. Yeah, no, I was like... hold on, that's just weird.
よしよし行きます。
まずは一杯どうでちか。お土産はこちらでち。これ直すがよい。受け取るがよい。
総員政権
Drubs will like this.
折檻の時間
決着をつけましょう。
スパッと切るでち。
切るでち。
私の希望。地を照らす命の証。決着をつけるぞ。着するとね。カリバー。
Self-promotion rule, Cody.
そこのけそこのけ閻魔が通る。スズメの沙汰も味次第。さしすせそからやり直せ。
よし。
お仕事で。
Still shy, but the crit got it.
武蔵。破れた。
Yeah, so she dropped the sabers again there. Not even 3 million on NP. I mean, Benny only has the one niche, right? So, still works. Okay, so now we've done all of that. Let's... God damn it. I've got to learn, like, the fastest route through this. Okay. The Buster up is probably a good idea. The quick up. Extra up. Not gonna get much out of the extra yet. This is a weird one for Saber because Saber gets far more out of Buster than anything else here. I think like with every other class, every other like person, I'd probably be going like all around that, but I'm, hold on. I'm not actually sure because I gotta look if I remember correctly what each of these are. This is the HP recovery up. This one kind of sucks. But the one on the right here is the Buster chain. Yeah, we'll just go around. I'll do the rest of them because it'll gain me access to the later ones. Okay. Do I even have enough for one more? Nope. Back in we go. Yeah, they really need a, like, just go straight to it. Okay. Salter or Mordred for Grand. Whichever one you want. Don't pick it for gameplay. Pick it because you like it. That's really all there is to it. Okay, chat, I'll swap this one since this one's Okita. You can by selecting the Saber Dust. Okay. Give her the NP gain buff. Give her that as well. Actually, I should have gone with the Buster Crit, but whatever. Well, everybody gets a modifier in here, and chat, what you're not seeing is my modifier is pretty damn stacked. Okay? Because I have the Saber class score completely done, and I have so many Sabers that, like, the bond requirement for the damage bonus is also, like, maxed out. I figured. You can hear she goes, Bishonen. They're gonna keep the passives uniform for each class? Yeah, I would assume that they will. Like, I don't think that'll be that crazy of an assumption. Oh shit, I just went in with the exact same class. Oh well. We'll get a little bit less arts up here. Benny has the 100% crit card here. I could have done the quick one though. That would have given it 100%. Musashi is a type, yeah. And chat, keep in mind, you can do this way more efficiently than I'm doing it. I'm doing it with Saber in the class, right? Like, I'm doing it with an AoE. You could easily just put the person in the back line or not take them at all and just go like all single targets here. There we go. Bro got his arm. His toaster. I heard Bishonen. Yep. Oh, is this not an official? Oh, god damn it, game. Really? So I have to go in, basically. There's Avenger. Let's get Betty out of there since he's Bond 10. Gilderay. Cause like I ain't gonna use you, Gilderay. Not normally anyway, so getting the bond up on you is free. I'm not sure who my Grand Saber would be. But you got 2 years to figure it out.
覚悟我が剣にて敵を討つ
惚れ直すがよ受け取るがよい
どう行きます総員逃がしはしない正面から受けて立つええ決着をつけましょう承知
Wait, did I evade with her?
束ねる白い武器輝ける命の本流受ける
Yeah, it's like 200 bond.
祝せカリバー一歩とも二歩
Yeah, that's just the max. Everything under that, it'll still get you stuff, right? Like I have it just on like, honestly, like my sabers aren't that bonded. I have it on mostly like just numbers alone. Because if you just roll a unit and level them to bond 5, for instance, which is very easy to do, you're getting 5 bond for that, right? So if you consider that like 200 is the maximum for something like that, it's really not that difficult in the grand scheme of things. Hey, Jade, thank you for the sub. Appreciate it, my dude. Is here. Okay, let's see. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. It's a good thing I did the arts card for her. Oh wow, it died before I even got the Saber Arts card. Oki does quick crit. There we go. Jun. So the max rank node here, chat's gonna be 4.5 million QP a run. And that's without like I'm taking Detective Foams, right? That's pretty much it. It's still getting me some drops. And it's actually getting me, yeah, so the max rank node's much better than the others. Like, I'm sure you can farm some of the other nodes faster, but this is like a 1 to 2 turn. It's really not bad. Also, chat, for those of you guys asking for a lotto, what do you think this is? Like, it's not a lotto, but it's pretty damn close. Raid like, yeah. Yeah, there's no embers. That's the big thing. I should have pre-carded. That was Da Vinci. That was Da Vinci card and an extra rank of Shokuchi. So the free card there probably was worth. Oh well. God. Just keep getting weight roomed by that card ever so slightly. Hey, whoa, chill out, Musashi. Chill out or no be shonen for you. Requirement being a level 100 really forced my hand. I mean, level 100 is not that big of a requirement when you consider like 120ing is a thing, right? So it's like at least for 100, it's just going to require grails and investment, as opposed to like 120, you'd have to have like the coins and everything. So I think that would be a much bigger issue. I got like 35 new friend requests. Hey, Adventure. Yeah, like I can see why, right? Having a really good like grand single target for stuff like this. I've also heard people saying like Lan Ling and Nero Bride is really good, so I put both of mine up on support for people. Just because I knew it's like, yeah, people are gonna need it just to be able to complete the node to a degree.
いかがでしょうか。行きます。どうぞ。よしよし。我が剣に我が剣にて敵をうが総員。逃がしはしない。正面から受けて立つ。それで終わらせます。
They remember Medusa laughs in the face of this fight? Oh, I'm sure.
死を照らす命の証。決着をつけるぞ。
Yeah, Okita, Medusa, Musashi herself, and keep in mind, guys, this is saber on saber. This is technically neutral damage, right? So the reason you're seeing such big damage numbers is because of the extra damage scaling. But having anything else on top of that is just going to be icing on the cake. 97%. 97.
お任せよ。はい。取った。ハッチ。
Ah, no crits.
賢弱不要なり。この程度。天地眼力。未熟。この程度。
Woo! Spicy.
我が被験のきらめき。受けるがよい。承知。一歩お供え、二歩無剣、三歩絶倒、無行、三段付け。やってくれたわね。
Then he gets the chaotic mod, which is nice, yeah.
少年分が足りぬ程度。我が主、いかがでしたか。さあ、勝ち時をあげよう。
Yeah. Looks like there's some variance in the drops there too, which is nice. Which I think what it's dropping is everything you need for the grand class score. I think these are all materials that are needed. Oh wait, hold on. So chat, you guys are saying there's a faster way from here. Or no? Thank you. Brain dumb. All right, hold on. Let me look at these here for a second. How much do I have? So I have enough for a couple of these. This is buff removal resist. That's kind of meh. We'll start out with this one. Because that's the starting charge and charge per turn. Is this the damage cut one, chat? Yeah. But I think we'll go with these. Actually, fuck it. Let's just... I'm not struggling right now by any means. So let's basically just get what we can. We'll just kind of go in order. It's not like this node is particularly hard. Blame from MPs, yeah. Just debating if I could make this better. I mean, I could just include another single target damage dealer, that may be honestly the best. Do I have my Benny and Mazepend? Oh. Nice seeing Musashi featured, yeah. It is. I'm just gonna test it. What's the worst that could happen, chat? Famous last words. Okay. Actually, in technicality, I should have been doing it that way all along. Her and P has defense down on it, so I get more out of it this way. God, it's doing like 1,000,000 now. I think it's just the card type up enhancement made such a difference. Oh, wow. Still shy. Honestly, like, not as good because no charge or anything off the back end of that. Here we go. Excalibur? Yes. We've tried using Mabe Sabers in P for those defense downs. I mean, those defense downs are random, though, so I don't know that I want to rely on RNG with this kind of damage scaling. Like, not more than I already am, right? Yeah, I think we'll just go back to Bride for this. There's honest to God, like, no issue with leveling Bride up anyways now that the bond change is here. Is Musashi divine or demonic? No. At least I don't think. No. Wait, that's Lemley. Hold on. I had her open earlier. No. Gotta love second guessing myself, Shan.
いかがでしょうか。行きます。総員正面から政権解放。これで終わらせ
Try that way.
早く
Love it. Random internet dropouts. Nice.
無名三段付けやってくれたわね。
I heard your voice in my head when I saw it say "Told you so." I'll just say I'm glad to hear that you guys like are actually giving me a little bit of credit for that one, because I've predicted a lot of things over the years in the community, and a lot of people just like, I don't know, I don't really get a lot of credit, so it's nice. Oh, forgot my Twitch Prime. I'm so happy you remembered, Zelfer, because you were about to get kicked. You were one of the 8 people. I'm giving people till the end of the week to resub, but I have several people that like they're not showing as subbed right now, and I'm like, well, the way Twitch does the subscriber poll, if someone's like, it's not even that they're lapsed, it's just that they haven't resubbed, so I have to like wait to see if they actually do. What would CAD say? Don't ask that question. That's a bad question. Oh, you know, it might have, well, whatever. Might have helped if I did things. Yeah, whatever. Send it. If you plug too bright anyway, Star Bomb or QP Bomb CE instead of Bond C. Yeah, I could. I'm just like, whatever. It's not like it's that bad if I 2-turn it instead of 1-turn it, right? So I'm just like, I'll just take the extra bond. We're back. We're shifted. And like, again, I'm kind of focusing on this right now, but we're gonna do recording here in a bit because CAD's just trying to like get these farmed out a little bit. But I'll have a lot to say. A 120 NP5 Dechi. Yeah, I'm not saying it to like be a dick to anybody, but just Zelfer was one of the ones that I knew. I was like, let's see if he resubs, because I wanted to give people a pass. It has admittedly, oh god, I almost plugged her out. It has admittedly been a hot second since I've pulled my list. So that was one of the other reasons I wanted to. We had a lot of complaining come the 28th from people that weren't paying attention. I mean, I'm at that point, chat. Like I said, I kicked several people from my list that weren't playing, right? So it's like people, I'm not gonna say like people are moving on from FGO or anything like that, but it's like we always have this over time where people become less invested in the game. Some people stick around, some people don't. The people that are becoming less invested and not paying attention, if they miss out on this stuff, it's their own fault. Like, it is what it is. Yay! I never noticed that Binny Inma's damage sounds like a chocobo going queh. Queh queh! Do these quests use your event support or regular? I think it's just regular support. Grand Saber uses storm pods, yeah. Don't let Trubs hear you say that. I mean, I don't think Trubs would be upset by that. He'd probably just go quah like himself. Also, thank you to everybody that watched Trubs' stream. I heard it was a good one. I have too many years invested to quit at this point. We riding or dying. Oh yeah, like I mean, again, you know, people talk about like sunk cost fallacy and stuff like that, but I'm like, who cares, right? Like, as long as you're still able to have fun in the game, I don't think there's any issue. I did it the hard way again. I'm sorry, chat. This is a hard habit to break. Okay, we are definitely, well, the Buster chain versus the Mighty chain versus the no chain formed. At least I assume that's no chain formed. Or is that Brave? Is that the no chain? I think that's the no chain. Alright, let's grab Mighty chain. Yeah, the other one's Brave chain. I was thinking that was no chain formed. Clock only is none. Yeah. Tensile, thank you for the 56. Appreciate it, my dude. How are you doing today? This is a one-sided investment with no gains. Yeah, I just like... I don't really see what the point would be in giving up. Trouble's telling me like there was a really like long time like I don't know if he was like a guide maker or content creator, but somebody on the JP side that quit, and I was like, why? like I understand not playing the game as much, but I don't really understand like deleting your account at this point. It's just weird to me. Though I do get like, if you just, you know, you're not going to come back, or you're trying to stop yourself from coming back, doing that sort of thing. I basically did that with WoW. So I do understand. It is weird to me that they quit like that. Yeah. Oops. Didn't press his second skill first. I still love that Lan Ling change. It's such a good change for him. Sounded like she choked on something there. You deleted your WoW account? Originally, yeah. Yeah, I poison pilled my WoW account so I wouldn't go back to it, and then, you know, 2 decades later I did. Fun time with Grand Saber, it is. It's really interesting what they've done with the system. I'll be going over it in summary here in a bit. We're just trying to get the requirements farmed out. I'm getting about, I think it's like 40 drops a run. I've already got 1 of the 8 done for the final rung. So I need 7 more done. Which, what, 7 times 40 is how much? Well, actually, it's not 7 times 40. It's like 7 times 140. Grand Jill's peak. I do like, and this was honest to God, this is my biggest concern, is that like there wasn't going to be damage scaling, and you taking certain classes into this was just gonna kick your ass. Or not classes, but characters, right? Like that was my biggest concern, is that the grand system would be unintelligently tuned, and that it would have issues with capability. But honest to God, it actually seems like they're doing a good job with it. I'll talk about that in a bit, Agent. It's actually, it's not a bad thing. I'll have a lot to say about that change in particular. Oh, I maybe should have pre-carded that. Oh well. Do you think there's enough space for 4 more classes, by the way? There's enough space for at least 2. I think there's space for 4, but whether or not they want to is another thing entirely. So we'll see, because, I mean, like, for instance, if they did 4 extra classes, like, how would that work, right? Because there's basically 2 full triangles plus shielder. So if they allowed 4 more slots, I guess they could do like 2 from extra 1 and 2 from extra 2. But that's the only logical way I can think about it. God, I keep getting weight room. This is literally the Detective Fulm's attack power. That's right there what that is, chat. Another triangle's gonna be pretty clunky. Oh, I'm not saying they're gonna form another triangle. I'm just saying, like, I don't really see them doing like 4 unless they want to like still bifurcate it, like split it between the two. Minus 2K Foam's gonna level yours. It's funny because I could have sworn that I had done it on JP, but apparently I haven't. But it is what it is. All right, chat, let's try the pre-card. Give me that extra Shikuchi stack. See if it makes enough difference here in the front end. I don't think it will, because I'm basically trading the extra like 20% attack up there for the end card bonus. So yeah, it ended up, it's really like just a wash. Oh, did I have the Da Vinci one? I'm sorry, I did. That probably was my bad then. I don't know that the Da Vinci would have been enough still, but it might have helped. Or wait, is the Da Vinci one? No, it's Lolly Vinci that's party wide, isn't it? The normal Da Vinci one I think is just self. God. Yeah, using a non-grand card is big oof. Fuck your rules, I do what I want. Exactly. Exactly, chat. Kinda want to try out a Musashi, but no one's got an MP5. I see you, Czar. Ooh. I'll give that a shot. NP5 Medusa. See, Bright is excellent for a situation like this. Like, you're restricted on who you can take. Bride doesn't give a crap what card type you are. She just buffs you. That's a big Medusa, yes. Give me 2 years for this to come to an A. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, chat. Y'all know. Ryder will be my nemesis. I gotta like really work on my MHX because I just pulled her on JP, and it's like if I want her to be the Grand Assassin on JP, I'm gonna have a problem. I've got to get her bonded up in a hurry. And that's how we end up with friend requests. How to become the grandest grand ever? Well, it's simple. You grand yourself. And then you have a grand old time, participating in grand duels to save Fate Grand Order. You see, chat? That's just it. It was in the name all along. It always has been. This was always going to be a story
よしよし
that was grand.
どうぞよしよし覚悟覚悟総員正面から政権解放
Yeah, I'm a grand content creator, chat. Y'all know. Alright, straight out with Da Vinci.
守る戦いである
Ooh, that's a good crit.
早く早く早く無名三段付き
Fate pre-card order, yep.
この
This could clear.
死を照らす
That was a good roll on the NP.
決着をつけるぞ
And it didn't. The one time I needed Saber to do the like 900k, she did 847. No! Yeah, this is like a consistent 2-turn for me now. But it's fine. Like I said, I don't really have issue with that. Like, it's not like this is difficult, right? Like, this is me just kind of going through the paces, just being like, I'm just able to like focus on chat. This is already turning into a farm comp and a lotto for me. The hardest decision is right here. All right, chat. This is not ideal because it has a K scope, but let's try the big gay. This one's for all the big gays out there.
行きますいかがでしょうかどうぞよしよし総員逃がしはしない正面
Hashtag not my cat. Didn't land the stun. It's okay. There we go. Chat Mighty Chain as well. All the monster energy drinkers, yes.
死を照らす命の証決着をつけるぞエクスカリバー
月を見上げるウサギとて理性のない時もある暴れる巨人をとっ捕まえて勇気凛々行進だ行くぞブルカーノ
It's actually not bad damage considering that was a K scope equipped.
チェスト
Like, that still dealt like 700k.
清め焼き払う
It is not great though. Like the fact that my Artoria out damaged it.
僕の必殺技見せる時が来たか
I'm not touching your cards, Lamley.
月を見上げるウサギとて理性のない時もある行くぞブルカーノカリゴランテ戦士まだまだ
Astolfo does not count as Bishonen.
火炎のごとす
I guess that makes sense.
不要なり清め焼き払う
98% with those two arts cards. Are you kidding me? That is just like what the actual F?
巻き取れあらよっとガリガリやるぞ
I'm wondering if this is like a fresh Astolfo grand and like the person hasn't done anything with it yet.
清め焼き払う
Because like even those crits are kind of lowballing.
天地眼力
Fuck it.
いいですね
Send it, baby.
この明かりの星の希望死を照らす
Grandcaster fight with Merlin, imagine. Well, that's like that topic came up in VIP today, and I was like, you know, I think it was Avalon was saying like, oh well, you wouldn't like he wouldn't be able to kill you, so like he'd be no threat, and I'm like, yes, but the difference would be you couldn't kill him. Like it would be like infinite invuln where he just keeps stacking at every turn. I don't want to hear about Astolfo and his lowballing. Listen, it is what it is, chat. Okay. If you don't want to hear about it, It's simple. Musashi wasn't the grand in stories, so the other 6 likely wouldn't have been grands either. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people making a big deal out of like who got chosen when they explicitly said in the live stream that like this is not like canonical. It's not like some big lore thing. It's just who they decided to choose. So it's like people are like, oh, who's gonna be the next one? It's like it doesn't matter, guys. Like just enjoy it. Stop e-peening over everything. Musashi's grand in my heart. Yeah, exactly. It's like if you want it to be Musashi, it's Musashi. If you want it to be Astolfo, it's Astolfo. If you want it to be Artoria, it's Artoria. It's that simple. People just like want way too much to get in pissing contests that theirs is the best. And it's like, it's not. Chad, I'm here to tell you, your waifu and husbando are not the best. Just, it is what it is. Even if objectively speaking they are, it's not. It's that simple, chat. Nobody's is the best. Musashi was kind of basically treated like one? I don't think she was. Am I hyped for the massive QP limited increase? No. It's just gonna lead me to being lazy. I can't explain it any more simple than that, chat. Like, I know that sounds insane, but I'm somebody that already struggles to spin down my QP. So, increasing the cap just means I'm gonna increase my bloat, and then I'll still struggle to spin down my QP. I'll go right up to the cap again, whatever it is. Well, I know what it is, but like I'll just end up going up to the cap, sitting there, and then still going like, oh no, I can't get rid of it. That's really all it's gonna be. Put together a chart for you? Let me see. Avalon, do me a favor, put the picture right next to it. Yeah, the actual graph. You think they'll eventually do grand extra classes? Yes. Someone on Twitter was asking too, like, when will I be able to do this? I'm like, next year. Like, in chat, I'm not saying this because I know, I'm saying this because it's like a 100% chance. I don't see a future in which it's not a thing. Personal bet is Kiyome for the Zerker tool list. That would be a fun one. That would be a really funny one, honestly. Let's do it like that. Time for the 12 Labors Grand Zerker Herc fight. That would also be an interesting one. I don't want to deal with this guy. Yeah, like it'd be an interesting fight, but it would also be a pain in the dick for something like this. Like Musashi has invuln, as you guys can see, but it's like it's not applying because I'm taking all sabers. So it's literally she's just a stat stick that we're beating up at this point. It's like, as chat's mentioned, it's basically a raid. So it'd be what it'd be.
どうぞ
Ooh, that was close.
どうぞよしよしどうぞよしよし覚悟我が剣にて敵を討ま覚悟総員この道に逃がしはしないこれは人類を守る戦いであるお任せを一歩をとも The issue is going to be supporting any berserker with any other berserker. I mean, you guys saw I just ran in with a like double single target comp and it almost worked. So like if I wasn't using saber and I was using another single target, like that's what I'm trying to say is at the end of the day, I don't really think it's going to matter too much. I think you'll still be able to easily do these nodes because the sheer damage scaling that's present. So it just should be a relatively like quick and easy thing. Okay, admittedly this farming is taking me longer than I would like. Chad, I think we're going to transition into recording here soon. Because this is definitely longer than I wanted it to be. I'll stagger cards, hoping it kills. Shouldn't have done it. No. Let's become footage for the video. It can. It's I haven't been recording, so that's on okay if he wants to suck that out. But God, I'm almost 161. Holy shit! The master leveling from this is really good. Like, I'd have to go back in the VOD and check what I started stream at, but that's like, that's pretty nutty. I did it again. I did it again. That's not what I wanted. Okay. That will help the Mystic Code buff. Gonna run with that. Quick chain's definitely something that could be a thing. The no chain at all is like a defense buff, so I'm not sure that it's really that big of a deal. Like the rest of these, I don't think the rest of these matter as much. I'll probably, actually, instead of the quick chain, I should have gotten the brave chain, but it is what it is. That one should have been the next best one for me. Is that enough to unlock the CQ? I don't know if it is. God damn it. The Brave Chain one's nutty, yeah. Nope. I still needed more. Can I read the Japanese in this game? No, I just know. I'm not even kidding.
Like that? Yeah, that's a lot better. I play both NA and JP Pro, so I straight up know like everything at this point. I can't read a lick of Japanese though. I've just learned how to figure things out in spite of it. I found a named sorcerer. Nice. Are they female, Bob? Okay. Gonna kill that so that the sound's not constantly going in the background. I will turn on song request again, though, for chat. Pro, thank you for the prime. Appreciate it, my dude. Yeah, can we get some love for our newest sub? Enjoy your emotes. Welcome to the channel. Let me know if you have any questions. Although I will be recording here for at least the next like couple of minutes, so it's gonna be a thing. Like I'm not gonna end up being able to answer much right here in a second. Yeah, there's zero lore implication for Musashi being the thing. And chat, like, I still see people bickering about the whole grand system, like who can be a grand and stuff, and I'm like, how are people still not getting this? Everyone can be a grand. That's what the game is telling you. Like, they're dumb. Yeah, it's people. Again, it's EPing, right? Like, grand is a container. Yep. Oh, you know what? Chat. Oh no, I can't change Musashi. I was gonna say, let me see if I could like mess with the globe behind that. But I can't. People don't get symbolism. Oh, I know. Actually, what does fandom have on this? If I wanted to use fandom as like backdrops for it. Yeah, they really don't have much. Do they? Does fandom actually have the like grand system? Where's the pre-release, the summoning campaign? Okay, so they did. It's here somewhere. They've just hidden it for right now because it's not like on the main page. That's super weird. God, this tells you jack shit. Holy crap. Not much info on that either. Yeah, I mean, I get it, right? It's a new system. in a same way to like us trying to figure things out right now to record a video, fandom is also doing the same. This is what happens when there's big changes to the game. You can't rely on guide sites to actually get you the info because they don't know themselves, right? Like, and this is a little bit the role of content creators, and it's why we have to do a good job. That's like, again, I'm going to have to go after stream and reply to the people on Twitter that were like, hey, by the way, this is incorrect. Because they're right. I was incorrect on 2 things that I tweeted about. Okay, I'm just gonna wing it. Well, you know what? I'll leave this in here. Yeah, that is such a like poo-poo small image. Call it a misdirection cat? No, it's fine. Like, hey guys, my name's Kadroth, and today I'm going to be talking to you about everything you need to know on the new Grand class system. So, JP has finally given it to us. It's been much awaited at this point for months on end. We've been knowing it's coming due to dev comments. And finally today we got the first rung of the Grand class system with the Saber class score that they've added to the game. So, the Grand system, on its surface, it really seems like it's going to be a very simple system. It's more of the same of what you guys should have already become accustomed to, especially here for you NA players with us having the class score system now in effect on NA. You guys can kind of take the concepts learned from that and easily apply that to what's happening on JP. So the Grand system has come in. We can now choose a Grand Servant of each class that we want to be our Grand. And that's going to be the one that we're going to select. It's going to get some enhancements as a result of that. And we're going to have new systems in play that we're going to be able to use. But the things you guys need to know about it, first and foremost, are what do you guys actually need in order to unlock and utilize the Grand Graph system. So to begin with, you're going to need the Ordeal Call Prologue done. So for those of us on NA, we're already at that point. As long as you're caught up on story, you should easily be able to unlock this 2 years later when it comes out on JP. So at this point, that's really the only requirement to be able to participate. But there are going to be some things that you need to do in order to actually unlock the Saber Grand graph for yourself. So a little bit what you want to do is you're going to want to go into the new system and essentially run through the unlock battle that they've given it. They've called it the Crowning Battle. That's going to allow you to be able to unlock the Saber Grand Graph. From there, you will choose a Grand Servant, and there are requirements. One, it's going to have to be a Saber here. Now, each class will get its due with the first 7 main classes coming out all this year. They have not revealed any plans for the extra classes, but it does seem extremely likely that the extra 1 and extra 2 groupings will at least get 1 each, if not more. We'll just have to see in the future, but that is something that will probably not happen until next year after the finale for Ordeal Call. Now, who you're going to choose for your Saber class, your Saber graph here is going to end up being somebody that is level 100 and has all active skills at level 10. This does not include appends. This does not force you to have the unit at 120 or anything like that. So there's no coin involvement, nothing like that. So it's a relatively easy system to unlock for anybody that is a much more veteran player. If you're a newer player, this will definitely have its concerns, but keep in mind that the grand system is not going to apply to a whole lot of things, at least as of the current point in time. It will apply to these unlock battles. It will apply to the farming for the grand system, but it will not apply to basically anything else that we know of at the current point in time, other than assumedly something at the finale of Ordeal Call. So that's pretty much how we anticipated it. I do assume that at some point next year after the finale, there will be other content that you will be able to use Grands in, because if not, why did the devs do all of this work if it's just going to be a one-off system that kind of comes and goes? So I assume there will be a little bit more to this, and we'll just have to wait and see kind of what they plan to do. But if you have those parameters set, you can choose a grand from one of the available units that you have, and then that will be your choice, and you will be able to enhance them. Now, that is going to utilize things like the new Grand Graph class score. So the Saber class has a specific one for it that's going to allow it to receive these enhancements. And on screen now, you guys can actually see this is what it looks like. And it basically, we have spelled out all of the relevant buffs for you. There's definitely some interesting things here, as the inner circle of this class score, the closest ones to the center, cost 40 of the new sort of Saber Stardust currency that's going to be farmable from the nodes that you'll unlock for this. And each one of those will give you a card type up buff or a buff to your extra attack, as you guys can see. And then the rung immediately out from them, the attaching node, will be an 80 cost for each of those effects. Those are each unique and different from each other. There's no real theme amongst them, but again, they are each a very nice buff in and of themselves, particularly the starting charge one, as well as the master skill effectiveness, which will enhance your mystic code capabilities. And then from there, the adjoining nodes to those that branch out from each of these will end up being a 140 cost of the Stardust each. That is going to be pretty hefty. But the way that one's going to work is that it's going to give you a ton of extra effects that could be really useful to you for things like carding, or again, when you use a Noble Phantasm, you will gain a 50,000 damage cut for one time over 2 turns against enemy Noble Phantasms. And then also your master skills cooling down twice as fast. So again, Mystic Code, order change, things like that, like anything that you can use from that is going to cool down a lot faster and get you a lot more benefit. Now, the 140 cost nodes don't have any scaling to them, but the 80 and 40 cost nodes do scale up depending on how much you've invested in class score for that particular class, as well as how many units of that class and how much you have them bonded. So the 40 cost ones, the closest circle, is going to scale per the amount that you have for each class score, like little icon that you have unlocked. So the base Saber class score in this case is going to help the scalability here. If you, say, have leveled up your Lancer class score, but this is the Saber one, that's not going to have any impact. But it will impact you, say, when the Lancer's turn comes around. So that's the way to understand this, is the more work you've done on the Saber class score, the stronger the buffs will be here for you, essentially, depending on how much you want to get. It scales all the way up to a 50% self-steroid on some of these, so it's really, really nice. You definitely want to enhance it by leveling your normal class score for that class. From there, the 80 cost nodes, the ones that are immediately out from the inner circle, are going to end up basically scaling per the bond level that you level up all units of that class. So all of your sabers combined, their additive bond levels are what will determine the amount of scalability that you get on these enhancements. However, similar deal here, there will be a cap, just as if you had completed the full class score. If you have, say, more than 200 bond across all of your sabers, that will cap out the buffs here. And that's, I'm not going to say easy to do, but if you're someone that's been playing a while and you have a pretty diverse lineup of sabers, you should be able to get this one done. But again, this will be more difficult for other classes that we maybe are not rolling as much or just don't have as many options because we're somebody that's newer to the game. So that's something to consider here, but keep in mind, regardless, this is a very, very good effect, and it doesn't matter what your scalability is on this, you just want to get the most you possibly can out of this system. Now, keep in mind too, these nodes will be farmable. When they first come out, they are going to cost 40 AP, but not have a storm pod cost, which means you can infinitely repeat them here for this first week. However, after that time, they will start to have a storm pod cost associated with them, and then you will not be able to infinitely do them. You'll have to kind of go through them slowly over time. So I actually do advise popping some apples here early on, getting a lot of it done, if you desire to get this done early and quickly, as opposed to being shackled to it with your storm pods and being kind of forced to do this in as efficient a way as possible otherwise. Again, the nodes are actually somewhat raid-like in the sense that they have high health enemies with really big health bars, but they also drop really good things. They drop pretty much everything that you could possibly need, short of embers. So in that regard, they're pretty good for QP, for ascension materials, for, again, things like statues and skill gems as well. So it's a really, really good idea to go ahead and actually get some of that farming done. They're also fantastic for bonding and master experience, and I'll talk about that a little bit more here when we start going over the quality of life adjustments. So again, that's going to be the basis for why you're going to want to do this stuff, but that's not going to be everything here. And from there, once we've done the farming that we need, once we've enhanced up to 12 different buffs from that grand graph, that grand class score, then we will have the ability to do the CQ. There's a total of 16 buffs, so you don't have to do all of them, but you will have to have done the majority of them. From there, that will unlock a challenge quest that will allow you to validate your grand. Once you've done that, it's kind of set in stone and you're good. You will have a unlocker slash what's the word I'm looking for this? Basically a reset button, a reset item for the grand graph system so that you can actually go ahead and say, hey, I need to change who my grand is. Maybe another unit comes out, you really like them, or maybe you've just decided that this unit isn't going to cut it because of whatever the content is. You will get 5 of those initially here with this first campaign. So it's assumed that you'll probably get 5 for each of them, which across 7 different classes at minimum will lead to 35 different reset options. Now, the choice is yours as to whether or not to reset. I think a lot of people won't bother resetting their grand choice very often, but some people probably will, and they'll try to metagame that. Just understand that sort of thing is, at the current point in time, somewhat finite and limited. Also, in addition to what we'll be getting rewards-wise from the nodes, there are guaranteeable rewards for first-time clears of those nodes that include new 5-star foes and gold foes, and faux pas specific to that class. So the 5-star foes will not be specific, and they are just functionally a faster method of gold foeing a unit. They grant plus 100 for each of them, meaning you only need 10 of any given type in order to max out gold foe a unit. as opposed to the 4-star foes where you need far more. However, they still operate in the same pool. Apologies for the tweet that I put out earlier that made people think that it was basically a unique thing that stacked on top of already existing gold foes. It does not. It shares the exact same cap of 2k. So as you start gold foeing a unit to 2k, you can do it now either with 4-star foes or 5-star foes. Does not matter. The other thing to mention here is your choice for your Grand class will immediately upon selection just gain an additional 1,000 extra HP and attack. That is just an immediate buff for making them your Grand, and that will transfer over outside of the Grand system. Same thing with the 5-star foes. That does not have to be used on your Grand, so obviously that sort of thing will work outside the Grand system and Grand battles. The 5-star faux pas will be class specific, but they also will not have to be on your Grand or anybody else. It's just, again, a faster method of faux pasing a unit. So it's really good to see that, because faux pas took a heck of a lot of time in order to complete on a given unit. So I think these are actually really good additions to the game, as it's speeding up your capacity and capability to enhance your favorite units and allow you to just make them stronger on a more increased scale. So again, that's going to be basically the additional changes that are going to be coming out from there. And like I said, you're going to be getting those from doing the first time clears of these farming nodes. However, that's the only way to get them at the current point in time. There is not a farmable method or achievable method at this current point, though I'm sure the devs will probably add something in the future along those lines for how to acquire them. Probably not farmable, but at least something that you could get in a limited quantity regularly. Now, the time limit for the storm pods and the requirement of that is going to be May 28th. After that point, it will begin to cost storm pods to do those nodes. Before that point, it will not cost anything again. So I highly recommend getting those done. When you go into the nodes, you actually can manage to, again, get these really, really awesome rewards, but you can also take a friend's Grand Servant if you so choose. It can be even the same as yours. Duplicates do not matter in that regard. So it is a really, really nice thing. There is a requirement, though, that you must use all units of that class. So for the Saber class score and Grand system, for instance, here, we're going to have to take all Sabers as we go into that node in order to farm. So that's going to make things a little bit difficult and interesting depending on your setup. The good news is there is damage bonus in the nodes, so it's really not that difficult. I was farming the maximum rank difficulty, which the nodes go all the way from level 100 all the way up to level 100 triple star. So plus, 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 star, double star, and triple star. So it's honestly kind of crazy, the scaling that they've put in here. And this is definitely the highest stuff that we've had in the game so far. But honestly, the HP values here are not too crazy. And at least the Musashi that we will be fighting in there has not only some interesting mechanics in the sense that she'll debuff you with defense down and attack down, but you'll also have an invuln up. But the invuln up won't really matter, because as long as you're taking Sabers, which you're forced to take, it literally just won't apply to you. Also, another interesting little factoid there is Musashi in these nodes actually has a unique animation set for her Noble Phantasm. So it stands to reason that while she hasn't had it yet, that she will have an animation sort of renewal coming up here, probably very soon, I imagine, with some sort of subsequent banner or something like that, in conjunction with this Grand system. But we'll just have to wait and see when the devs want to give it to her. It's definitely an interesting thing nonetheless. But yes, again, the maximum health that you're going to encounter in the highest level node is a 3.1 million HP Musashi. It's actually not that crazy given that you have damage bonus. So again, take your time with it, but I do think most people should be able to pretty easily get through these nodes and farm them pretty regularly. Several people have already gotten their entire class score done for the Grand Class. And I don't think that's that insane, really. It just required them to sit down and pop a couple of apples to get through it. In order to get all the missions done, you need to have done 50 of the runs, but that's still pretty doable in one day for a lot of people. Not something you have to complete in one day, but it is an interesting thing nonetheless. But I think for most people, it will probably be done in like, I don't know, a week or something like that. Now, another interesting aspect to your Grand is going to be the fact that they can actually equip 3 different craft essences to themselves at any given time. So the way to understand this is that you can equip a base craft essence, something like a K-Scope or a Black Grail to yourself. It does not matter what you choose. You can choose anything, but you can equip a base craft essence to your Grand, plus their Bond CE, assuming you have them at Bond 10. Now, there is a caveat here. This is another mistake that I made earlier, and that's that basically you have a choice. You can choose between either taking the Bond CE effect or just 50% charge if you don't like what the Bond CE effect is, which 50% charge is really, really strong, so that's hard to beat in a lot of scenarios. But the way to understand this is if you have the Bond CE, you have that choice. So again, if you're Bond 10, you will have a choice between either the Bond CE effect or 50% charge. If you don't have the character at Bond 10 yet, you will not be able to make a choice at all for the second craft essence. So that slot will just remain blank. So it is something that you should be aware of, especially for those of you guys on an A that are 2 years kind of behind everything. Now's your time. Go ahead and start getting working on some of the stuff, unless it's a unit you don't have yet. So that way you guys are more prepared to be able to fully enhance your unit. Similarly, with the third CE that you'll be able to take, it will be any CE from, like, say, the Da Vinci shop, Valentine CEs. There's some really interesting ones that can go in here, but it's non-combat CEs for the most part. But interestingly enough, there are some craft essences that you guys can take that actually do have 2k attack scaling if you level them all the way up. Detective Foams is certainly one of them. There are a couple of others out there. So keep that in mind, that makes for a very good craft essence to slot in as the third one. Again, Detective Foams basically gives Bond up and QP up, so it's certainly a solid one there for you. But the scaling actually makes a whole lot of sense for your third craft essence to just make your unit even stronger. Similarly, if you're taking a more supportive unit, then putting something in that has all HP scaling might also be really good for you. It just really depends on what you're trying to do. Now, when you've completed the CQ and validated your grand choice, you will also receive a commemorative CE for that. That craft essence will actually give you a extra 1,000 HP and attack, but that will go in that third slot that we mentioned. So it'll be competing with other things that say give 2k attack. If you have nothing better to put in, it's certainly fantastic, but honestly, you should have plenty of options for what you could slot into that third slot besides that. Again, it's mostly just a commemorative CE. It has the really awesome grand artwork for each class on it, so you can expect to get more of those with each one that comes out. Just a couple of other tidbits here. As we had mentioned, Bond, the devs have actually implemented an idea that I've been talking about for years on the channel. I'll probably put that in its own video on the side for you guys to watch, but it's really, really interesting that they have included a Bond overflow mechanic that I've been mentioning for a long time that would solve a lot of bonding issues with the game. And they have done that, and so now you guys don't need to fear bonding your units up anymore. You should actually instead go the complete opposite direction and just completely go hard into it and try to be bonding as much and as fast as possible, because it's now to your benefit. You'll be able to hyper bond characters and be able to get them up and going really, really fast, assuming you have units in your party that are bond 15. That's what it's going to require in order for you to get the additional bond. So if you have a unit at bond 15, they will not gain any bond, obviously, but instead they will give other units in the party plus 25% bonding for that run. So it's going to be really, really good to be able to kind of transfer that bond over to other people. And it means you don't have to worry about taking your, meta supports that are bonded out, taking your favorite units that are already bond 15, that sort of stuff. Now you can take them and still not feel like it's a total waste for you bond efficiency wise. So it's definitely going to be a nice thing to have for that. The other thing worth mentioning is that they have also added a limited time capability to reset your class score. You will have one reset for each class. That's it. And you'll be able to get those in the DaVinci shop, basically. But again, so far, as of this current point in time, there's only one reset available. So choose wisely, don't waste them. Again, you really shouldn't have to too much, but if you feel like, oh man, I invested in the wrong things here, maybe this is a good idea to allow you guys to switch. It will refund everything that you've invested in that class score, including the Stardust, the QP, the Ascension mats, the statues, everything that you've put in. So it is really, really nice to be able to get that back and to be able to make a change, but I'm going to caution people from being too quick to jump on the bandwagon for that, because again, the finale isn't until the end of the year. We don't really know at the end what this is going to kind of require. So to me, I'd hold off on it for now, but it could be something that you'll see people do as the other grand classes roll out here. People might try to switch to take advantage of the buffs. The choice is up to them, but keep in mind, you can only do it the one time. So I highly caution against using them sort of too quickly and overzealously. There will also be master missions and things released with this campaign. There's really some nice rewards. They'll give more of the unlockers, including, I believe, if you win the CQ, you will get a new rank 3 unlocker for the base class score system. So that sort of stuff would be nice. We've got more teapots coming in, so even further bond enhancement. More basically teardrops for grails, more quartz, just about everything you guys could ask for, everything for this system. And as we already mentioned, again, the new grand system will be coming out monthly. This is something we had hypothesized, but they've pretty much all but confirmed it now, since this one comes out in May and the next one literally comes out in June. So it stands to reason that each one of them will be coming out 1 month at a time, all the way up through November, with the stated finale coming out in the winter of 2025. So it stands to reason that that's probably going to mean December for the finale, probably right at smack at the end of the year, as they really like to do that sort of thing to make the new year transition into a new part. So I would expect that that's when the finale will occur, and you guys should prepare for it. But that also means you're going to get one class score basically given to you each month, and expect that the grand system will just continue to progress in this monthly way, which is definitely going to make it interesting, especially with anniversary and summer coming up, other things like that. We're still missing the 4th Olga quest, which I anticipate will probably come sometime around New Year's, so we'll just have to wait and see. But it's definitely something that I'm looking forward to in that regard. Now, again, don't get confused. The grand system is going to be a pretty significant change for the game. There's going to be a lot more enhancement capability that you're going to be able to do for your units. You're going to be able to take it and still receive some effects in normal nodes, just not the class score specific effects and enhancements. So it will be a very interesting upgrade, but it's not something you necessarily need to go crazy over, other than the time sort of incentivized nature of the individual release campaign. So my advice, get out there, farm the mats, try to like pick a grand and go with it. But if you have to choose, or if you have to change your grand later on, there's no real problem with that, given the fact that they're going to be giving us more of those sort of change items over time. But again, let me know what you guys think about the grand system. Is there anything else you'd like to see explained about it? And what, who did you choose for your grand? I'll be curious to hear all of you guys' choices and all of your thoughts on this system. And I will see you guys for the next video. Thank you guys for watching. Later. Okay. Chat, what did I forget? I feel like I forgot something. Also, hello, Fox. Thank you for the raid. Welcome, everybody. I was just recording, so... Man, I wonder who my grand will be. Yeah, I couldn't tell. If I had to guess, you're probably going to grand Artoria. When it comes to the gram system, I want more s'more. Yes. Close, I was thinking Saber Gilderay. Ooh. Damn. That'd definitely be a based choice. I don't think we should encourage people to go ham on the Bond. If there's more than one max Bond servant in the party, it will start to lose efficiency. How does it lose efficiency? Not Brock, yes. Jelly Donut. 2 years until it's released on JP, 2 years until it's released on NA. Would that be crazy and grand Jason? I don't think that's that crazy of a choice. Like, Jason's damage has always been sus, but Jason's loopability is not. Yeah, Bond gain as like so. Okay. I'll pull it up, chat. We'll do another recording here. All right. We'll do another recording so that y'all can hear my take on this. The Bond plus 25 bonus stack, so it's not that much of a waste. Yeah, there is no waste. Where is it? I'm sorry, I'm looking for a chat. Yeah, there was nothing more here to talk about. So now's the time for the Bond courts to flow. Yeah. Okay. Hey guys, my name's Kadroth, and I called it. Years ago, I called this. Basically, the devs have taken a stance for a long time in the game of, hey, we're not going to allow you guys to go all the way up to Bond 20. This resulted in some really negative feedback from the players because people have wanted Bond 20. People have been saying, like, why not, right? And, at the same time we had the append system, we had basically this sort of elephant in the room where everybody was looking at the bonding system as sort of this kind of pain in the ass with regards to the coin structure for the append system. And again, that also translated into things like grailing to 120. So you had a lot of people that just didn't really like the way the system worked and were super upset with it. So the devs had come out over the years and said, like, hey, yeah, we understand, we'll fix it. And then anniversary after anniversary went by, and basically you had 9th anniversary where they actually came out with another one of my predictions, which was the 4th and the 5th append system. I'm sad that I was right on that one. Not that the 4th and the 5th append are bad, but that the devs were actually like, I say devs, it may not be the devs. It may be like, Aniplex behind them pushing it, but like they were stupid enough really to push the 4th and the 5th append out, despite knowing how the community felt about the system overall, and despite their entire live streams getting bombarded by people saying, fix the coins, fix the appends, like make it so that they can actually do something. So finally, the 9th Annie came out, they launched that 4th and the 5th append, and the entire community just blew up over it. And then, Mr. 2 quickly came out and said, hey, don't worry, we got this. We already know what the fixes are, and we're going to change things. So in that process, one of those fixes was he changed the amount of coins that you get from Bond. And you might be wondering, what does this have to do with like the actual discussion at hand here, which is the new quality of life? But the answer to this is that it actually goes hand in hand. Because the developers gave us out more coins for going all the way up through Bond 15, it kind of cemented in stone that you were never going to get a Bond 20. Bond 15 will probably be the last Bond level unless they expand the usage for coins. Because at the current point in time, the system kind of is fixed from the developer standpoint. Now, what this does mean, though, is that, again, as we don't get Bond 20, people are like, well, what do? I have all of these characters sitting here at max Bond, and I'm not able to use them efficiently. Some people don't care. They're just going to use whatever they're going to want to use. They're going to keep using their units at Bond 15, and there's no issue with that. But some people did care. Some people were like, wait a minute, hold on. I've reached Bond 15 with this character. Now I'm going to like go shelve them or put them in my second archive. I'm just not going to use them anymore. And other people, I'm kind of like the pragmatist in between both those approaches, where I say, look, at the end of the day, if a unit is Bond 15, I don't want to use them because it's not efficient. But, if they're my favorite or if the situation calls for it, I'll still use that unit. Like, I'm not going to shoot myself in the foot to not use it. But at the end of the day, I think the devs saw that this was a problem, because the devs had stated their entire philosophy with not allowing Bond 20 was that they wanted people to roll more units. And that didn't really work. And I said this as such when they first made the announcement years ago. I'm like, that's not going to work out for them the way they think it is. Players are not going to go, oh man, I've Bond 15'd my Koyanskaya, better go out and roll another alternative to that. Because there is no alternative to a Koyanskaya. There is no alternative to a Castoria. You can get other units that can do similar stuff, that can function in a similar capacity and work as a replacement, but there is no true one-to-one replacement for a character that has an extremely unique kit. And so at that point, this became a little bit of an issue. So for years now, we've been wondering what the devs would do about it. And like I said, years ago, I predicted this issue was going to become a problem. And so I came up with this idea of Bond overflow, this concept that said, hey, look, what if without allowing more Bond levels to occur, you could still continue to use your favorite units and your support units that are like meta for you and already Bond 15? What if you could continue to use them efficiently? It basically pleases the players because they get all the benefits still, and it actually will keep them more active in playing the game. And obviously, it's not going to make the devs more money. They're going to instead increase the efficiency of the player if they do that and allow them to get more Bond, rather than having players running around with a Bond 15 not gaining any Bond and kind of not gaining any quartz because of that. So the developer's incentive was probably never to do that. But thinking about it from a developer perspective, there's this little pesky thing called player retention. And that's directly tied in with player happiness. And it's like, if you want to keep your players around, if you want to keep them happy, give them what they want, especially if it's not going to be something that's going to shoot you in the foot. So getting a couple of extra Bond quartz a year is not a huge deal to completely losing the player over time because of numerous annoyances and things that have kind of piled up for the player. So it's one of those just sort of goodwill earning type of things that
I knew the developers were eventually going to have to pull the trigger on. It made a lot of sense from their perspective. But finally, here we are years later where the developers have come out and they have said, okay, here you go. Just like the system I was proposing back then, it's a system in which if you are at max bond, if you are at bond 15, now that character will give to somebody else 25% extra bond. So basically, everybody else in the party gets that 25%. It's really, really nice, really efficient in that regard. So the benefit to this sort of thing is going to be, again, that you get that efficiency back. That slot that would have been taken up by a bond 15 will now confer extra bond to the other unit, so you don't have to feel bad about using it. Now, obviously, you don't want to take in an entire composition of bond 15 units because then nobody's bonding. But what this does allow you to do is it allows you to still continue to use your favorites, use people that you've already bonded out, and basically still gain benefit from that. Doubly so because, again, you had the 20% extra bonding on the front line now, which was a huge hamstring when you couldn't gain extra bond. Now completely turns around and becomes a huge benefit now that you can gain extra bond. So it really works to the player's advantage now with this new system. This system has overnight changed things for how we should approach bond in FGO. Bonding has always been good, but the devs were hard incentivizing it to such an extent that it felt like they were just trying to get you to completely bond out your most used units and then gain no bonding over time from it. So with this change now you can continue to be able to bond everybody in your party to some extent, other than obviously the bond 15 units, but at least they're giving benefit. Now, this does not apply to a like friend support that you'll be taking. If a friend support is bond 15, obviously you can take them, but they're not going to give you a 25% extra bond increase. So it's only going to apply to your units. So that means you have 5 available slots to choose from. So similar deal here. If you have 5 available slots to choose from and one of your units is bond 15, they don't gain any bond, but they give everybody else in the party 25% extra. So it literally just transfers all the bond that they would have get. 4 other units get 25% extra, which is basically 100%. So it's actually perfectly efficient in that regard. There's no bond loss, no sort of issue with that. And I, for one, am just happy that one of the changes that I called did come true. Because in a similar way to, append 4 and 5, it was a really, really good idea that was just extremely poorly executed. It had absolute tone-deaf timing from the developers in that regard. But it doesn't mean that the 4th and the 5th append are bad. In fact, the 5th append's really good for a lot of units out there. So it's actually a nice addition to the game overall. And ultimately, for better or worse, it was the catalyst that fixed the entire coin system for us. So in a same deal, now that we have bond overflow, we now have the capability of bonding guilt-free, in effect. And actually, this is similarly going to make bonding to get your coins for your appends and your grailing even easier and faster. So for people that were maybe having trepidations, maybe kind of on the fence as to whether or not they needed to slow roll their bonding, now you get to completely flip the switch back again to the old school way that we were, which was bond all the time. Bond as much as you can, as efficiently as you can. Go full steam. For those of you guys on NA, you probably got 2 years until this comes out, unless it comes early, but it's still going to have a monumental impact, because now in the future there will be a point where your units will become efficient again. And that is amazing. In fact, to be honest, that's probably, in a weird way, a bigger change than even the entire grand system coming into the game in that regard. This represents a huge monumental win for the player, as opposed to the developers nickel and diming us and making it so we can't get more quartz and kind of sitting there being like, oh, well, I guess this unit's kind of bricked now, or I can't use them. So let me know what you guys think about the new bond system changes. I think this is fantastic. Obviously, I think some people would have preferred Bond 20, but this at least allows us to continue to use our favorites with no issue whatsoever. So again, let me know what you think in the comments below. I'll be curious to hear you guys' thoughts, and I will see you guys for the next one. There you go, chat. I don't think it's perfectly efficient for 2 or more Bond 15s. Huh? What was that math you just did there? I did. Look. Let's say you have a Bond 5, a Bond 5, a Bond 5, a Bond 5, and a Bond 15. And then your 6th slot is just your support, okay? This gets no Bond. But this gets an additional 25. This gets an additional 25%. This gets an additional 25%. And this gets an additional 25%. Which means you have minus 100% right here. But you have plus 25 on each of these. Okay? Let's say now, instead, it's 3. And now we have 2 Bond 15s. And a support. This one doesn't gain Bond. This one doesn't gain Bond. But now this one gets 50%. This one gets 50%. And this one gets 50%. It's still good. Like, I'll still take it. If you're not at max Bond, you get 25% Bond. Yep. You lose 50% overall there, though? Yeah, sure. I don't think that's an issue. At all. You don't have to be perfectly efficient. Yeah, I could care less. I can still use these characters. Oh, no. I mean, like, I get what chat's saying, right? Chat's basically saying, hey, look, like, it's better to run 1 Bond 15 instead of 2. Sure. Each Bond 15 you run is going to basically cost you a little bit less, right? The idea that I proposed is that it just transferred 100% all the time. My idea was perfect efficient. This idea is not perfect efficient, but it's close to it. Yep. If you have like 4 Bond 15, does one get 200%? Yes. Basically. Yeah. It's like if you're Bond 15, Bond 15, Bond 15, a support, Bond 15, and like a Bond 5, right? So, blep, 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 blep. 25 from each of them. So this unit gets plus 100%. They bond at double the rate. Now, is that great? No. But, I mean, actually, if they're in the front line, it's actually 120%, but whatever. This makes me feel better about taking double Castorita farming nodes going forward. Yeah, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I'm not gonna care. I'm just gonna go right back to using like double Castoria and stuff. I had mentioned before how much of a problem this was. Without this in the game, this really hurt people's desire to like use some of their best and favorite units. Everybody was on a clock. Everybody basically had a limited number of uses until they capped out and became inherently less efficient. And by less efficient, I mean not efficient at all. No efficiency. 0. Right? That's a problem. That's a huge fucking problem. And I've mentioned this before. It's like, it's one thing with like, oh, hey, it's my favorite character. I've grailed them up. I've gotten them to Bond 15. I'm still going to use them, right? That's fine. The issue is like, yeah, chat. Let's go look at my JP. All right? Bond 15. Bond 15. Bond 15. Bond 14. I can now use these units. And chat, you guys need to understand, I have been slow rolling this. This is me being basically as efficient as possible. And I've still managed to hit Bond 15 on some of these units. Because there's points at which if your account is not just the like greatest, most efficient account ever, you're going to get stuck using characters that amplify your damage enough. Okay? That's how she's Bond 14. And Chad, I've been doing way more quick farming of late. She's now Bond 10. She wasn't before. She's Bond 10. She wasn't before. So like I've had to start coming up with all of these like alternatives to, hey, who can I slot in? I think that's what the devs want to an extent. Players don't want it. They don't want it. Players want to just go, ha ha ha, I just go burr. I like big number, I like big booba, and I just want to grind. That is like literally like normal player mentality for the vast majority of the player base. That's all there is to it. So doing anything that disincentivizes this is inherently bad for the game. It's bad for player retention. It's bad for player happiness. It literally just straight up is, it's friction, chat. That's all they're doing, is they're just adding more and more friction. And eventually, from all that friction, you get rug burn. Eventually, you go like, ow, that hurts. I don't like this anymore. And that's not a good thing. So it's like, obviously there's always going to be friction. Always. There's nothing a developer can do about there being some amount of friction. But a developer can try to lower the amount of friction with the player base as much as possible. And this is one of those changes. This is a, like, frankly, when they made the announcement, no Bond 20, I think it was the third most stupid announcement that they have ever made. The first being Nasu dooming on the future of the game. The second being the fourth and the fifth append. I think no Bond 20 was the third most stupid announcement they've ever made. Literally, that's how high I rank that. So you guys got to understand a little bit. This is rectifying some bad shit. Nasu dooming is what motivates me to keep playing, to be honest. You're probably rare in that regard. Because again, I think we all know the game's not ending, but like, I think to people that are not super familiar with Nasu, when the lead creator of an IP says everything comes to an end, FGO is going to end, and just keep saying this year after year, it has a negative effect. It really does. And I know it's like he's trying to prepare you, he's trying to set up a good story, And to a degree, he probably wanted the game to end. But the man tried to will it into being after creating an unkillable monster. So it's his own damn fault, a little bit. FGO2 seems to be on the horizon. 2 years due to 3-year plans. I don't know what you're talking about on that. Especially when the creator is also the IP's legendary writer. Yeah. Probably not the smartest thing he's ever done. Nasu is never honest. I like Nasu, I really do. But I obviously, as a content creator for this game, have some issues with Nasu. Nasu adds friction. He really does. And it's sad. He shouldn't. Like, there are times where it straight up just would have been better if Nasu said nothing at all. If that makes any sense, chat. Nasu is the epitome of don't believe his lies. Yeah. Nine stacks of guts and won't die. I think it's like Nasu has just finally gotten around to the point of being like, I accept FGO for what it is. Like, I love it. Like, I don't think Nasu has ever hated the game. I think Nasu has hated the amount of work that goes into the game. Nasu is a stereotypical eccentric writer. He says weird things. And it is what it is, right? Like, I don't fault the man for wanting a break and wanting out, that sort of stuff. He's not the business person. To be fair, Takeuchi is who he makes be the business person, but Takeuchi's not a business person either. He's just, I guess, more willing to do it than Nasu is. Do you want to slap Nasu for his dumb decisions? Slap's a strong word. I would love to, like, sit down and pick that man's brain, though. I would love it. Hey, why'd you do this? Why did you translate Arturia's name as that? Why? Why? Takeuchi's the I do art version of Nasu? Yeah. Takeuchi's based as all hell. Who hurt you, Nasu? It's sad. It feels that way. Again, Fox, thank you for the raid. I'm sorry. I've gotten bogged down in all the content today. I'll have to continue doing the farming tomorrow, and we will definitely have to continue Ordeal Call as well, because we didn't get to any of it tonight. I did not expect that this entire stream was going to take this long, but it did. In the meantime, chat, let me see who's on. Let me send you guys over to the Gotcha Gurus. They were just doing some FGO. I don't know if they still are. But I'll be back tomorrow. Again, thank you guys for watching. Obviously, we'll try to get something out for you guys tomorrow, but it may take a little bit longer on this one. Just depends. But again, I appreciate all of you. And I love you. And some of you need to get on Discord, because I've tried to contact you for a slot on my friends list, but you're not on the Discord. So that means you're not going to get a slot on my friends list. Have a good night.